Hey, a few months back, one of our viewers, Oren, asked us to smoke some spotted trout. Quite frankly, we haven't been out fishing, so there's no spotted trout. So, what I've got here are some fresh, whole catfish from the St. Johns River. Now you can see they've been deheaded, they've been gutted, the skin's removed. What we're going to do is brine these guys in some beer. Now, if you don't want to use beer, you can use buttermilk. Why brine it? It'll get rid of the fishy, that kind of fishy flavor. Now, if you like the fishy flavor, don't brine it. But like I said, these came out of the St. John's, and sometimes it can have a little bit too much fishy flavor for me. So this beer brine is going to take care of that. Now, I've got 3 of these catfish here, right? I mean, you could do as many as you want. This will be plenty for us. The beer I'm going to use is this Golden Monkey, all right? This is a Belgian Tripel. It's got quite a high alcohol content. In fact, probably double what most regular beers have, okay? Now, if you don't want to use this, you could use like a Dos Equis or a Corona. I wouldn't use a dark beer for this recipe, okay? So what I put in there was 1/8 of a cup of kosher salt. And then I'm going to get this beer in here. And we're going to stir it up until I get that salt mixed up. And then we'll decide how much water we need. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do is I've got these, I think they're called Meyer. They're a half lemon, half orange. Okay. Now the Belgian Tripel, I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they will have an orange flavor in them. I mean, it's not real strong, but you will taste it usually. So that's why I'm going with the orange. I would like to get a little orange flavor into this catfish, okay? So I probably squeezed up the whole thing there. Now, like I said, I'm just going to stir this up until I get that salt mixed up. I've got a bunch of foam. I probably could have poured it a little better. And what I'm going to do is let this beer sit here for a minute till a lot of the foam settles back down. And then I'll show you how we're going to marinate it. Now, one other thing I'm going to put in here is I've got this colon cleaner hot sauce. This is one of those mustard-based hot sauces. This step's optional. If you don't want it hot, you don't have to. You could put a little cayenne in here. Just a little heat. It's not going to add a lot because it's just in the brine, all right? But like I say, let me just let this foam kind of settle down. I'm pretty sure I've got the salt all blended in, and then we'll be right back. All right, you can see our beer, the foam is gone, so we're going to set that aside. What I've got here is a gallon Ziploc bag, all right? Just going to put each of these catfish fillets in here. And by the way, I did bring them home from the fish market, and I rinsed them out inside and out with some cold water in the sink, okay? All right, so I've got my catfish fillets in here. And now, hopefully I'll pour this beer in here without getting it to foam up too much. Okay. Okay. You can see I've almost got them all covered. What I've got here is a little extra, a little water, just to finish it up. Yeah, you could use another beer if you wanted, but like I said, this is twice the alcohol of most regular beers, so I really don't want to cook these things. Too high alcohol content, you can cook the meat, make it all kind of mushy. All right, so what I'm going to do is seal this up. I'm going to put it in the fridge 1 hour. You do not want to marinate this overnight or brine it, whatever you want to call it, because the acid will make the fish, the texture of it, not so nice. Trust me, okay? So I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to get this moved into the fridge 1 hour, and then we're going to take it out, and I'll show you how to smoke it. Okay, it's been 1 hour, and our catfish fillets are all brined up, marinated up, whatever you want to call it. I call it a brine. What I did was 30 minutes through. I just turned it over like this to make sure we got all sides. Now, the seasoning I'm going to use today is this new to our store at Armadillo Pepper, this Runnin Wild Seafood Seasoning, okay? Like I say, this is a brand new seasoning in our store. We have quite a few of the Runnin Wilds. I love their cherry. You've seen me use it on salmon. I've used their peach, their honey barbecue. They make some great stuff. I'm going to give one of these away today, all right? You watch this video, leave a comment down below, and you'll be entered for a chance with the random comment generator to win one of these sauces. We ship it out to you. You don't have to pay for anything. All right, so let's talk about how we're going to do this, all right? So I want to get each of these catfish out of here. Okay. Just sit them on this plate. And we're going to discard this brine. You don't need it for anything, okay? Just get rid of it. Let me get it out of the way. And yeah, I just want to pat these dry. We didn't use a lot of salt in the brine. You don't, some of you like to rinse it off. You want to rinse it off, fine, but just make sure you pat it dry. I'm definitely not worried about it being too salty at all. Okay, so just want to dry off, and you can dry off the inside of this cavity here. We're going to smoke these guys, so if they're all wet, the outside of them won't get as nice as we'd like them. We want them as dry as we can when we put them in the Masterbuilt, okay? Now, let me just get up this extra water here like so. Now what we're going to do is hit these guys up with just a light coat of olive oil, and I do mean light. It looks like this one I could have dried off it just a little bit better, okay? So what I'm going to do is just drizzle. I'm just trying to be careful here not to get too much. Okay, yeah, that should be more enough. Okay, just going to coat these guys up with a little olive oil, both sides, like so. Okay, now, next thing we're going to do is hit them up with our Runnin Wild Seafood Seasoning. If you're interested, let me tell you what this one has in it. It's got salt, organic, evaporated cane juice, dehydrated garlic and onion spices, and some silicon dioxide to prevent caking, soybean oil, and some natural flavors. For those of you who like everything all natural, this one does have the silicon dioxide. Down here in Florida, I will tell you, if it doesn't have the anti-caking in it, it will cake up. And some people don't care, other people hate that. So, it's up to you. Okay. So all I'm going to do, as you can see, is season these catfish fillets up like so. I am going to, open up the cavities here and spray a little bit down in here, or sprinkle a little bit down in there on each one of them. And as soon as here's a piece, I didn't get it cleaned real well. You want to get them cleaned out, as good as you can. It looks like I just missed that. Let me get a paper towel. Okay. You can always, if you see a little place you missed, you can always clean it out now. All right. What we're going to do is just sprinkle up the inside of these. When I get all of them seasoned up, we'll catch back up over at the Masterbuilt Smoker. Got this Masterbuilt set at 265 degrees, and I'm going to use some orange wood chips today. Just like, keep consistent with that brine we made, okay? Now, if you don't have orange wood, no problem. I would use a light wood, alder, or a fruit wood. If you don't want to use something heavy, or you're going to overpower this delicate catfish. Now, I just put a hook through each of the tails. You can see here. What we're going to do is hang these guys in this Masterbuilt, okay? Just like so. I'm going to put all three of them in here. Okay. And, there's no water in the tray. A lot of times folks say, hey, you use any water? I hardly ever use water in this tray. Okay. And I'm just going to space them out so they can get good airflow between each one. Okay. Like so. Get our third one in here. All right. And we're just going to hang these guys. I'm going to guess it's going to take 2 hours a day. I'm not sure. We'll cook them up to 145. So I came out here at the hour mark, and look, my idea of using the hanging hooks was not a good idea. Each of these fillets, or each of these catfish, I should say, came off the hook. I didn't think through it well enough, but you can see they all fell through there. So what I'm going to do is get these out. Good thing I have my drip pan there, right? So we're going to move this down one rack. Okay. So, things happen. So we're going to get these catfish up here on the racks. And what I was going to do is check the temperature. It's been 1 hour. I hope you guys can see that. 120, 137, 130. Well, look at that. 140, 142. This is almost done. So I'm going to let it go maybe another 20 minutes, and we'll check on it one more time. I'm going to make up a dipping sauce for this. This would be a perfect place to make a remoulade or a sriracha sauce, but I've done that many times. I've got a half a cup of mayonnaise here, the top of 1 green onion, and I've probably got about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of chopped cilantro. Okay. What I'm going to do here is got a little bit of this Angry Goat Sacrifice. This is made with orange habanero peppers, okay? Now, this is optional. You could use sriracha here. You could use cayenne. You could leave it out altogether. I probably got close to a teaspoon there, at least 3/4 of a teaspoon. And then to keep in the spirit of the orange juice, there's 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, okay? I don't want it to be too thin. What I'm going to do now is just mix this all up, and then we'll give it a taste. Hey, you could have used yogurt if you wanted in this. I use mayonnaise, right? Mayonnaise is kind of a southern thing. Catfish is kind of a southern thing. You can see it's a little thin. Now, it's up to you how thick you want it, okay? Now, it's probably going to need some salt. Ooh, it is yummy. Oh, really yummy. You get a little bit of orange. Nice cilantro. Creaminess, of course, from the mayo. And then I'm getting just the right amount of spice. It's actually not too spicy at all. But I am going to come back in here with some black pepper and just a tad bit of salt. Okay, just a little kosher salt, probably not even 1/8 of a teaspoon. Then it's going to come in with some cracked black pepper. Again, probably not even 1/8 of a teaspoon. Just a taste, right? I'm telling you, this is going to be perfect with this catfish. And all you food sanity people, I'm the only one eating this, so I can stick my fingers into it. Oh, yeah. I love this. Okay. It's been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Let's get those catfish out of there. All righty. Looking forward to this. There's what our catfish look like. The outer edge is pulled back a little bit. You can see where I had the hook in it there. So I'm just going to get these catfish off here. We're going to let them rest a few minutes, right? Just like we always do. And then, going to give them that old taste test, all right? So let me get that one off. Get this final one off. Like I say, I'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, catfish has been here about 10 minutes, okay? I hope you guys can see this when I open it up. Okay, it's nice and flaky. Okay, still hot. I got that sauce on there that we made up. Okay, just going to get a nice big bite of this catfish. Look at that. That's probably too much. It'll take me forever to chew. All right. Oh, it's excellent. So, we had a few mishaps in this recipe, right? Fell off our hook. I thought it was going to take closer to 2 hours. I said 1 hour and 10 minutes earlier. I went back and looked at all the times I wrote down. It was 1 hour and 5 minutes. You definitely get a light smoke flavor to the catfish. No fishy taste. That beer took care of it. I can't taste the beer, to be honest with you. And I really didn't, wasn't expecting a lot of that. I do get a little orange, but, we made the dipping sauce here, and I've got it right in the dipping sauce. So, it's hard to say, did the orange come from the beer and the orange we put in the brine, or did it come from the dipping sauce? I guess I can try a piece here with no sauce. Man, I'm telling you, it's absolutely excellent. Just flakes right off. So I'm going to try a piece here with no sauce. It's a little sweet. It's hard for me to say if that's orange or not, but it's sweet, and I suspect it's from the orange and the beer. But again, I get no beer taste. For those of you that don't like beer, don't want to cook for beer, like I said earlier, you could use buttermilk if you're worried about the fishy taste. If you don't mind the fishy taste, you can skip that step altogether. You know, even though we had the mishap where they fell off the hooks, it turned out great. And you know, unless you're a professional where you've done everything 100,000 times and you know exactly what will happen, these kinds of things will happen in your backyard. You just pick up and you keep going forward, and 9 times out of 10, in my experience, it'll turn out okay. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you like catfish, I would really encourage you to try it. It's just that good. There is some spice, by the way, from the sauce, but it's just really not that bad. It's kind of like if you've ever had Cajun fish. It's kind of like a Cajun flavor. It's that kind of a spice to it. Thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you're not a subscriber already, I hope you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. You'll be notified of all of our new videos.